Mount Everest is not a mountain. It is a pile of bodies, and they are all still hungry.
Item number SCP-5410. Object Class Keter.
Special Containment Procedures. The containment of SCP-5140 is primarily handled through the enforcement of a 10-kilometer exclusion zone around the peak of Mount Everest, specifically focusing on elevations above 7,000 meters, commonly referred to as the Death Zone.
Mobile Task Force Sigma-14, known as Mountain Kings, is stationed at various base camps under the guise of high-altitude rescue teams and Nepalese government officials.
Any civilian attempting to summit Mount Everest must be redirected, or if they reach the Death Zone, monitored for interaction with SCP-5140 instances. In the event of a civilian death above 7,500 meters, MTF Sigma-14 is to ensure the body is not recovered by private parties. If a body becomes an instance of SCP-51401, it is to be buried under a minimum of 3 meters of snow and marked with a standard Foundation beacon to prevent accidental contact by other climbers.
All satellite imagery of Mount Everest is to be filtered by Foundation web crawlers to scrub high-resolution images of the mountain's rock faces, which are to be digitally altered to appear as standard geological formations rather than the mass of biological material they actually are.
Public knowledge of the Green Boots and Sleeping Beauty landmarks is to be maintained as tragic mountaineering accidents to provide a mundane explanation for the presence of visible corpses.
Description: SCP-5140 refers to a phenomenon occurring on Mount Everest, specifically the realization that the mountain is not composed of rock and ice, but is instead a colossal, self-sustaining heap of human corpses. These corpses, designated SCP-5140-1, are not biologically alive in any traditional sense, yet they exhibit anomalous properties that suggest a state of perpetual, agonizing stasis.
There are an estimated 250,000 instances of SCP-5140-1 making up the bulk of the mountain's upper mass. While the base of the mountain consists of standard sedimentary rock, geological surveys conducted by Foundation drones have confirmed that from 7,000 meters upward, the internal structure of the mountain is composed entirely of frozen human remains, layered and compressed over thousands of years.
The primary anomalous property of an SCP-5140-1 instance is its function as a perfect thermal sink. Any heat source that comes into direct or indirect contact with an instance is immediately drained. This is not a standard transfer of energy. The heat is effectively deleted from the environment. This results in the ambient temperature around clusters of SCP-5140-1 dropping to levels that should be physically impossible, often reaching near absolute zero within centimeters of the instance's skin.
Furthermore, SCP-5140-1 instances exhibit a predatory tactile reflex. While they appear to be frozen in various states of distress, they are capable of subtle movement. When a living human makes physical contact with an instance, the instance will attempt to embrace the individual. This is not an aggressive strike, but a slow, crushing pull, drawing the victim into the mass of other corpses. Once contact is made, the victim's body heat is drained so rapidly that they flash freeze within seconds, becoming a new instance of SCP-5140-1.
The most disturbing aspect of SCP-5140 is its growth. The mountain is expanding. Analysis of historical records and modern topographic scans shows that Mount Everest's height is increasing at a rate that cannot be explained by tectonic plate movement alone. The mountain is growing because it is being fed. Incident Report 5140 Alpha. On May 12, 1996, a severe blizzard resulted in the deaths of 8 individuals on the mountain. Foundation monitors embedded in the climbing groups reported that the deaths were not caused by the storm itself, but by the terrain.
One survivor, identified as Witness 5140-09, provided a statement before being administered Class A amnestics. The witness claimed that while huddled in a tent during the height of the storm, they heard a rhythmic tapping against the nylon fabric. When they looked outside, they did not see a person, but a limb, a frozen, blackened arm reaching out from the ground beneath the tent.
The witness described the ground itself as shifting. The snow had blown away to reveal that they weren't camped on a ridge, but on a shelf of frozen faces. The rock they had used to anchor their tent was the hunched shoulder of a woman in a 1920s-era climbing outfit. As the wind intensified, the witness claimed the faces began to open their mouths, not to scream, but to draw in the air, creating a vacuum effect that pulled the hikers toward the ground.
Subsurface survey log. Project lead, Dr. Eris Thorne. Subject, remote operated vehicle, ROV, Mole 5, borehole survey. The following is a transcript of the video feed as the ROV drilled 10 meters into the north face at an elevation of 8,200 meters. ROV begins drilling into what appears to be dark gray granite. The drill bit encounters a change in resistance. The material becomes softer, more fibrous. The camera feed shows the drill pulling out long strands of what is later confirmed to be human hair, preserved perfectly by the cold.
The ROV breaks through into a hollow pocket. Dr. Thorne orders the lights to be turned to maximum. The hollow is not an empty space. It is a pocket of air trapped between a tangle of hundreds of limbs. The limbs are interlocked in a way that suggests they were trying to climb over one another.
The camera pans to the left. A face is visible, pressed directly against the lens. The eyes are open. The pupils follow the movement of the ROV's light. Dr. Thorne notes that the instance's clothing is not modern. It appears to be a heavy wool tunic, consistent with Himalayan travelers from the 14th century.
The instance opens its mouth. No sound is recorded, but a visible mist of frost is pulled into the instance's throat from the ROV's heated internal components. The ROV's temperature sensors trigger a critical failure alarm. Internal temperature drops from 20 degrees Celsius to negative 150 degrees in 4 seconds.
The ROV's drive system fails as the metal becomes too brittle to function. The final image shows the instance's hand closing around the camera lens. The feed cuts to static.
Recovery Mission Log, MTF Sigma 14, Operation Deep Freeze. Team Lead, Captain Miller. Team members, Operatives Kales, Vane, and Henderson.
All right, we're at the lip of the crevasse. Vane, check the thermal. It's a black hole, Captain. The scanner is bottoming out. It's reading as error null down there. Whatever heat was in that hole is long gone.
Kales, I don't like the look of those walls. That's not ice. We know what it is, Kales. Just keep your gloves on. Double layer the thermal suits. If you feel a drop in suit pressure, you get out immediately. Henderson, you're on the winch. Copy. Dropping Kales in now.
Kales is lowered into the crevasse. His headlamp illuminates the walls. As he descends, the standard white ice gives way to a dull brownish-gray texture. Captain, I'm seeing clothing. Lots of it. It looks like a thrift store exploded in here. I'm seeing Parkers from the 70s, fur coats, ancient leathers. It's all woven together.
Kales, I have the transponder. Wait, Miller, what is it? Kales, the hand, it's not just holding the transponder, it's holding me.
Pull him up. Henderson, winch him up now! The winch is jammed! Something is pulling back. It's not just one. They're coming out of the walls. They're not even moving fast. They're just leaning. They're leaning toward me. I can't feel my arms. Captain, the wall is opening its eyes. There are thousands of them. They're all looking at me. They're so cold. They just want to be warm. They're asking for my skin. Henderson, cut the line. That's an order. But Captain, cut the line. The sound of a steel cable snapping echoes through the comms. Kale's scream is cut short as he falls into the darkness of the crevasse. Vane, mark this location as a level 5 biohazard. Nobody comes back for him. He's part of the mountain now.
Addendum 5140.2. A recent seismic study of the Himalayan range has revealed a terrifying discrepancy. Standard mountains have roots that extend deep into the Earth's crust, made of the same rock as the peaks. Mount Everest does not.
The seismic waves reveal that beneath the base of Everest, there is a massive cavernous void, shaped like an inverted pyramid. This void is filled with the same thermal sink material as the peak. This suggests that the mountain did not grow upward from the ground. It is growing downward, consuming the very crust of the Earth. The Foundation's theoretical physics department has proposed a horrifying hypothesis. SCP-5140 is not a collection of dead hikers. It is a singular, ancient organism or localized distortion of reality that uses human corpses as its primary building material. Every person who dies on the mountain, every person who is drawn into its embrace, adds to its mass. If the current rate of growth continues, and if the thermal sink properties of the mountain continue to delete energy from the atmosphere, the death zone will begin to expand. Within 50 years, the elevation required for SCP-5140-1 instances to remain active will drop. The mountain will begin to reach out into the valleys. It will reach for the villages. It will reach for the world. Mount Everest is not the highest point on Earth. It is the hungriest. Subscribe for more classified files.